Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this finale of Arrhenius Against the Inevitable. Before we jump into it, a couple of things. One, I want to thank this wonderful cast for being a part of this story. It's been super appreciated. I appreciate you all so much. And I want you all to tell us who you are, who you're playing, and how to find you on the internet, what you have coming up, so that everyone can go and watch the things you have coming up after this. Why don't we do Bluu? Start with you. Oh.
I was surprised. Hi, I'm Bluu. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Aurora today. Well, bittersweet. I hope I can play them again in like a similar setting or the same. This has been a lot of fun. Aurora just hopes to find answers today. That's it. Send tweet.
Nice. Do you want to popcorn it over to anybody?
Yeah, I'll popcorn it over to Ed.
Hey, thank you. I'm Ed. I've been playing Bruno, the Ekavir Hunter. Arrhenius is just such a imaginative setting, and this cast has been just so amazing. I've been having a great time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of climactic resolution we're going to have this evening. You can mostly find me here at Wanderer's Haven, playing a variety of stuff. I'm occasionally on Twitch as Neuromaster, but this is probably actually the most reliable place to find me. Looking forward to seeing what the evening has. Brie, do you want to go next?
Hi, it's me. I'm Brie. That's my name. I use she, they pronouns. I am playing Winona. Who else uses she, they pronouns? Winona's just hoping that we can find a solution to the all of the issues without having to murder each other and fight over this power source. It may happen, who knows? Anyways, yep, that's really it. Arrhenius has been fun. It's been a great time. I really like the whole snow age, ice age setting, and I'm excited to get into it. And I'm gonna bounce it over to Kay.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Kay, also known as Caden Cosmos. I do this. I'm also on Folk and Myth and Guild Superior and other things. I also do musical theater locally, hopefully. And I've been playing Shan. I've really been enjoying the Arrhenius setting. I really would love to see probably in a personal game, how the frost points and stuff work over a long period of time too.
Right.
Six episodes, you can only do so much. I would love to really be surviving up there.
And there's like this thing where when you're streaming, you're kind of trying to like push the story forward. You're not like kind of hanging out doing all this stuff. I'd love to see how it works in a home game where people are just like, and roll your resilience check. Oh crap. Sorry, please continue.
No, it's all good. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for having me. And let's throw it to Miko now.
Oh, hi there, everyone. I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM, and I tonight will be playing or reprising the role of everyone's favorite exploratory scavenger bot, What? Who is not a leader. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
He is very clear. He's a technological.
That's right.
That's true.
Nice. Well, in case you haven't guessed, we are playing the game Arrhenius by Dungeon Teller Games. You can check it out on itch or DriveThruRPG at the links that are in chat. It is a futuristic ice core role-playing game 100,000 years in the future where our descendants are trying to survive in yet another ice age. But for this group, you all have come from various domed cities or know somebody that is within the group that came from one of those domes, and you have found that the two domes that you know of Ojigia and God, I can never say it with a straight face.
Let's just go with Toxic City. Let's just do that.
Toxic ass city.
Yeah.
Things are cooling off. They're starting to become almost uninhabitable, and there's radiation leaks and all sorts of things because the power sources are just failing. So with that, various groups have been sent out to try and find answers in what's left of the world, and that led to all of you kind of joining up and heading out and trying to decide where to go. You decided you were going to delve deep into the world and try and find the ruins of a Dorrem city known as Amia. Sorry, my brain. Which was once the heart of the Doric Empire long ago. Since its fall, the Dorrem have left this relic of the Empire alone, as far as you know, but there's a rumor that these things, or that the city still is there, and there were wonders of technology as well as rampant growth of plants and such. And so taking various routes to get within the planet itself, you did end up finding ruins of a city. Now, you've not found anything that proves this is Amia. However, there are definitely clues, or there are things here that make you think that that's where you are. There is technology around that is definitely outside of your current purview, and the rumor of these plants that had been left here and just kind of grown rampant, you definitely learned last time that that was the truth, and some of them are rather carnivorous. Attempted to eat some of you, however, you did run away, and since then a few days have passed. We're going to jump forward in time for the sake of streaming the finale, and you've managed to explore a good amount of the city in those 3 days. You've rested up, you've fixed some of the things that were broken, you've healed, you've warmed yourself so you're no longer dealing with your frost point loss, and perhaps most important, you come here trying to find technology to save the domed cities, and as you entered, we're going to call it Amia. Whether that is what the city is or not, who knows? You noticed that there was a sun in the sky of this cavern up near the roof, and it was very baffling for that first day, but as the sun set, you've noticed over the last 3 days, it dims pretty heavily during what you know is going to be nighttime, you know, using your various data pads and internal chronometers and whatever it is that you keep track of time with when you can't see the daylight or not. You've definitely noticed that this is in cycle with the outside day and night, or the surface day and night. And when that sun dimmed, it became apparent that there are various bits of technology, various constructs that are attached to the cavern ceiling. Now, this is quite a ways above you, so you haven't been able to get up and see it, but two things. You have been able to trace visually where a lot of that goes, kind of off into this cavern. It seems that there is a lot of stuff that leads deeper into... Sorry, I'm getting alerts, and I'm like, well, stop doing that. And so you've been following that. But also, as soon as Bruno saw the various bits of technology that are attached to the ceiling, it was like looking at something just slightly different than another room you've been in before. When we started all of this, you were in essentially a holodeck, a dream room, as Yellow Jacket calls it. And as the hologram faded and glitched out, there are various emitters that were around you. And looking up, you can see these emitters. Now, these are much larger, and you can tell that the cables and various structures that run off of them are similar, if a bit different, to what you've seen before. And so you've had a few days to process this. And as you make your way through dodging carnivorous plants, various fauna that you're not 100% sure is safe or not, and also exploring, trying to find answers, as well as, I know some of you really enjoy things like cataloging all of the wonders that you're finding down here. And so those of you who have been like taking plants and pressing them into your journals or whatever it is that you are doing, that's what you've been doing. So why don't you tell me where everyone is at this point as you are kind of deciding where to go from here?
So I think what is still very heavily focused during almost this entire time on the technological kind of the networking aspects that we had kind of dealt with in the last session, looking for nodes of less advanced intelligences to communicate with, proper computer systems and the like. Very focused on trying to establish any kind of rapport with any of the other semi-sentient or potentially fully sentient technologicals that are present within this environment. And so that being as difficult as it was, I'm imagining you all basically see a lot of what seemingly talking to themselves in a way, as they're moving around the various spaces that we are moving through. I think that they're also less focused on trying to catalog the biological aspects, because from their understanding, knowing what this place is, most all of this has already been cataloged anyway in some other OSIT repository of knowledge.
Gotcha.
So I don't think he cares as much about all of the rest, but certainly would assist in identifying anything that any of their biological companions brought to them.
Nice.
I think Aurora's probably doing exactly that. Maybe is like surrounded by different samples they've gathered, and is just kind of taking their time to catalog it with written word, and also like put it on their data pad, and is not hesitating to like yell over to what. Do you know what this one is? Do you know what this is? Just asking questions with whatever they find. Aurora has been having the time of their life in here, I feel like.
Nice. Anyone else?
I feel like Winona has been focusing on one, Shan almost died, so Winona has been especially like doting on Shan, and is like not being a dick. Like, I don't know how else to say that. Like, just being like, are you okay? Make sure you have you been drinking water? Like, it's important to stay hydrated, stuff like that. So when Winona is not fussing over Shan and making sure that she is okay and well, she is essentially studying the technology of this place. I think ever since we found out, I'm assuming from the information that Bruno shared with us in regards to like the dome, or in regards to what the technology seems like, she has specifically been studying the way technology is put together here. You know how like some like scientists or whatever have like their method of work where it's like, okay, they will always kind of do this, you know what I mean? She's kind of trying to take a log of that way of work, because she is thinking ahead and is like, if there is only one power source and we are stealing this power source, if we can't make another one, we might have to fight each other to figure out who gets the power source. And I would like to avoid that, because I love my cousin, but at the end of the day, I will choose me. And which has some different layers of truth to it, and some not. But basically, Winona's trying to avoid that.
Okay.
I think Bruno is in a lot of ways having the time of his life. He has been warm before in the dome, and he has been able to go out on hunts. This is the first time in his life that he has been able to do both of those things at the same time. To be able to hunt, to be able to explore, and like to not be freezing his tits off at the same time.
Yeah,
and that is just a most amazing thing.
And look at it, that like the dome, this is like actually warm down here, whereas the dome was like a nice balmy like 50 degrees on warm days. You know what I mean? It was like not warm. The warmest that like you've been was in those dream chambers and the holograms. So this is like a whole new level. I can see that Bruno would just be like kicking back, getting out the lawn chair.
So I think that's probably like foremost on his mind. But I think the other thing that he's sort of looking at as he explores, and especially when he's thinking, not just about food or hunting or the thrill of it, but the reason that everyone's here. Bruno is not a scientist or a techie, but one of the things that he knows is that whenever you see like tubes, when you see more and bigger tubes, whether they're carrying water or steam or power or data, like they're always more and they're always bigger when they're coming from the source.
There.
And that's like what he is looking out for.
Okay. What about Shan?
Yeah, well, Shan, I think rather than just shrugging off their near-death experience, they're really soaking in the attention. They've been making up needs just to get Winona to being nice. They're really soaking it in. So yeah, they've been resting, really luxurious. I think they also, she's been, she loves how warm it is as well. She's not gonna get her ears frozen off, so she's like, I think she's basically down to as little clothing as possible, while still being modest. And then yeah, she doesn't know what she's looking out for, so she's just looking out for if any creatures are starting to come their way, like keeping an eye on our asses.
Okay. And I feel like we'd be remiss in not explaining that the last 3 days have been extraordinarily eventful, watching Yellow Jacket move around and collect yellow bird feathers as much as possible, and to the extent that Yellow Jacket almost appears like a small big bird at this point, and has gathered a small family of avian friends that follows him around. This has been a little problematic when it comes to things like moving silently and trying to avoid things like carnivorous plants, but you've managed so far, and a lot of that and just trying to determine what it is that you're looking at without missing anything is what has taken you this long to get across the city. And as you near the far wall, you did, I'm going to just actually back up for just a sec, because you had headed to the center of the city, and you did find large buildings there that did seem to at one time have function as far as maybe government, and maybe there were scientific buildings there and stuff, but a lot of that equipment is gone, whether it was looted, whether the information has been taken for to protect it, or by the Dorrem when they left, or it otherwise has been taken over the centuries since looters have come in. But you're not seeing signs of like looters directly. What you're seeing is the plants and fauna have taken over. So a lot of the buildings are somewhat squished or collapsed by the weight of like enormous roots and vines. This has very much become the domain of these plants and creatures. It's no longer a Dorrem city. And with that in mind, you do approach what looks like an open archway. It's far beneath this enormous conduit that runs into the wall above it. But this is what looks like where all of the cables and various apparatus stem from on the cavern ceiling. And so heading into or towards this doorway, is there anything that you want to do before you head in?
We don't see any signs of little campsites anywhere. It might still be like kind of grown over, but it'd be more recent than the ruins sort of vibe, or I don't know.
Good question. Good question. I do want you all to do observation checks. This is going to be this is going to reflect your passage over the last 3 days and kind of what you noticed.
What can I add to my roll?
I rolled a nat 1.
Yeah, amazing.
You said observation for everyone?
Observation for everyone. You get
21.
observation.
What got a 30?
I feel like there's a funny comment I could say there. I just don't know what it is. I don't know. What got a 30?
I got a 20.
A 20.
Oh, you should have said who got a 30.
Do you have a luck point, Kay? If you spend the luck point, you get your 21, which is what you need to succeed.
Can I do that?
You can.
Yay!
All right, so we got a 30, a 21. I'm assuming that one does not turn into anything.
It's, the 17, if it matters.
Okay. Anything else? Any other successes?
Oh wait, did I say I got a 21?
A 21, okay.
Yeah.
Bruno got a
15 for Bruno.
15, okay. So I'm gonna give the 21s. You do see signs every so often of inhabitation that has happened probably since the Doric Empire fell, but a lot of it is just really old. You're not seeing any like active campfires, anything like that. With the 30, however, there are sensors that that the rest of you don't, that every so often trip. They're kind of like motion sensors, and the hard part is there's a lot of movement in this place. There are birds, there are various rodents, there are large creatures that you've caught sight of, that you've managed to like kind of avoid, but you're not 100% sure if they are aggressive or not anyway. And so you've all been avoiding these things to just get as far as you can without having to fight again. And every so often you just get this feeling you're being watched.
So, can I interpret this feeling of being watched as a normal function of this place? Meaning that the sensors and devices that I'm seeing that are ostensibly part of this process are not are what they should be, and not necessarily added after the fact by new inhabitants, or rather, are they part of the design and function of things?
I will give you that it's interesting that there are devices that you've passed. Some are motion sensors, some are cameras that do seem to be working, that are either part of the original design or have been here for quite some time, that so as to appear, and they do appear to be Doric in nature. But for them to be continuously, to still be working, is surprising to you, if they are from the original structures.
In my processing of things, have I been able to determine any kind of code or anything for these systems based on their language structures that they're using to
So, like,
communicate?
do you want to go over and, like, plug into one, or see if there's, like, a Wi-Fi signal going off, like, something like that?
I mean, I've been doing the Wi-Fi stuff the entire time.
That's right.
Because remember, that's what got me in a little bit of trouble in our previous session. But I was like, yeah, I'll keep going with it.
And they had kind of firewalled that off as far as, like, what had infected and, like, blocked off your memory.
Yeah.
So let's do...
Well, I was specifically referring to when I had pinged, when we first entered this space. I had pinged, and the act that I got back was just a little bit abrupt.
Go ahead and do a science check for me.
Alrighty. 24.
24. With that 24, the data that's being collected does seem to be going to a source. However, that source, like a central source, but that central source keeps moving.
Okay, specifically though, is the data streams in language that what would interpret to be normal processing, or like a customized version of code?
It would be normal processing.
Okay.
And it is fairly antiquated as far as current Dorrem coding and stuff is a little different than this, but you know, having access to various things that you've read before, this
place has not gotten firmware updates in a while.
Correct.
Yep.
Great way to say it. But you are noticing that, like, you're kind of pinging where it's going to, so maybe you can go and find that terminal or whatever and access it directly, but it keeps moving.
Okay, good to know. I will share that information with the rest of the group, indicating more a sense of just trying to reinforce the notion that you all should be mindful that we are being observed by the various systems of this space, and whoever is collecting that observational information, whatever entity that might be, is apparently moving throughout the space and is not affixed in one location, indicating presence of significant sentience.
What was that? Can you explain again? But
like, Shen's just standing there staring at what, going, what?
There is potentially some entity observing us, utilizing the systems of this place. And to just be mindful of that.
Okay, I can do that. I'm gonna now, every time I can notice a camera, I'm gonna pose and make sure it's my good side.
Love it.
I think Aurora actually will start shooting down the cameras with their rifle as we walk through here. Because we might be taking something. So. Hey.
Oh no, that's fair. Never mind. We don't have to say anything.
Aurora's like,
that's a good point.
He's watching us. Got it. And just starts taking the cameras out.
If you do that, I think what would pause you in that action when you first try to do it and state, could that not be interpreted as an act of aggression?
Depends on if you shoot first or not. What?
I feel like God's voice plays in Aurora's head for a second, in the voice of Jeremy. And they just like, exactly.
If this is an action that you feel strongly in taking, I will not prevent you from doing so. I'm merely positing that it could be interpreted as a potential act of aggression, and to any entities that are observing us for information gathering to ascertain our intentions for this place, that could very well create a misplaced sense of animosity.
I think that's reasonable. Aurora will not shoot it out, but keep the gun.
Do we know for sure that something or someone is watching us in this moment? Because these cameras could just be old. Like, very old.
I have a strong belief that there is an entity on the other end of the data streams receiving this information.
I feel like this is a perfect time where the brushnick's like nearby. You can see this archway ahead as you're heading towards it. The brush nearby begins to shake, and Yellow Jacket erupts out of it, lands, and it goes, ah! And then runs off and disappears into some more bushes.
Wait, Yellow Jacket, before you go, do you have a yellow marker?
Stops, turns around, looks at you. Why?
I'm sorry. No, great job. I'm going to just color the lenses on these cameras so the thing watching us doesn't come and kill us all.
Why yellow?
Because I know you only have yellow things. It doesn't have to be yellow. If you have a marker, that would be fine. I just don't have a marker.
I'm going to roll my yes, no, maybe to see if Yellow Jacket has a yellow. Yes, Yellow Jacket does have a yellow marker.
Fantastic. You will get this back when I'm finished with this task.
You give me something.
I'm gonna look inside my pocket. And can I see if there's a yellow rock around here or something?
Make an observation check.
But a nice rock. A nice rock for Yellow Jacket. Okay, so that's a 9 plus 13, which is 22.
22. You're looking around and you're just not seeing anything. You're not seeing anything. And then what is that? You look over and it isn't actually a rock. It's some kind of lens from something long ago. You're not even sure. It's kind of glass, but it seems maybe stronger than glass as you pick it up, and it's chipped. It's not perfect, but it is absolutely yellow, and that is the important part.
Fantastic. I give that to Yellow Jacket.
Oh. Walks off into the brush.
Okay, I take this marker and I'm going to at least all the ones that I can reach. If I can't reach it, I will be like, Shan, darling, can you I'm just gonna use you, just kneel down. I'm gonna get on your shoulders. We're gonna tag team this. And I'm just I'm not gonna destroy them. I'm just gonna color the lenses so that it makes it difficult to see. There, now everyone wins. They can't look at us, and this is just seen as at most, a childish prank.
Delinquents.
Yes, we're delinquents. But delinquents don't need to be murdered. They just need to be taught not to be delinquents. Maybe we'll get first contact. Hopefully not. Hopefully no one talks to us.
I think as Wynonna is doing all of this and has all of this commentary with Shine and everyone, what is just like standing next to Aurora and saying, will it be interpreted as a prank if they can hear us indicate our intentions with it?
Let's hope there's no audio. And Aurora will leave it at that. Let's hope it's just video only.
What will decline to mention that there is most certainly.
Winona's coloring her lenses. Take this, you bitches. Okay.
We're just miscreants.
Right. So are you all heading into the archway?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So as you head into the archway, a couple of eyes poke through the brush, marking Winona is carrying a yellow marker, and Yellow Jacket sets his sights on stealing that yellow marker.
Hey, we just did it. You know what? It's fine.
As you all head in, you do notice, I'm not even going to have you roll for it because you're actively looking for them. You do notice that there are some cameras along this hallway that you are going to enter into, but also of importance to note, this place is a shambles. There are roots growing out of the walls, like stone has just crumbled in. It seems like there might have been halls that went off of it at one point and have like since been collapsed. But you do notice that there is, for the most part, a way through. As you move in, it also becomes apparent that in some of the debris are bodies. And you note, they're not hidden, they're not buried there. It seems like there were people here when some of these collapses happened, and these ancient bodies just haven't had anyone to do anything with them, so they're just there. But everyone go ahead and just make an observation check.
That's not enough.
I rolled a 17 for a total of 33.
I got 17 total.
Okay.
I got 26.
Okay.
17, not doing it for Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno's just not with the observations this entire series.
I got a nat 20 for a total of 36.
Nice.
So
for those of you who succeeded, you do notice that, again, there are these bodies, and they are ancient. They are Dorrem. You can tell there are definitely signs that mark them as Dorrem as far as like kind of the cybernetic enhancements, various tints of their skin that they've done, like Dorrem like to change the pigment of their skin, their hair, different things that just stand out to you. Those of you who got 30s and above, you can see that there is traffic that has gone through here, like foot traffic. It's subtle, but definitely like areas that are, I wouldn't really say that this is a dusty area so much as it's just shifted dirt that has been moved as they've gone through here. So fairly recently too.
That was going to be my next question. How recently? Can we tell how many pairs?
It seems like the same set of footprints, just over and over and over.
Are these humanoid footprints?
They do appear to be humanoid, yes. They're kind of on Shan's scale as far as the size. Shan, what size shoe do you wear?
Big.
Big, yeah.
Big lady.
Yeah, so whatever made these are wearing big lady shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it dark in
I
here?
use the data streams to try to track if this is the direction that whoever is receiving the signals from the sensor systems is currently going.
Good idea.
So you're not seeing it now, but what I'm going to have you do is do a recall check for me. You're essentially going to be cross-checking some data that you've stored to see whether or not this may have been a point that this has gone to.
25.
It does appear to be that way, yes. However, you're not getting that signal now. It seems to be out in the jungly area.
Okay, I'll hold on to that for now.
Okay. All right. What do you all do?
So do we have to do anything to clear the passage forward? Or
No.
I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm just gonna start walking forward nonchalantly.
I'm gonna be right behind Shan, being able to grab them in case something happens, but also not having to go first.
Yeah, I don't think Bruno expects to find what he's looking for on a bunch of long mummified corpses.
Okay. As you move forward, stepping over the corpses, following this non-crushed area, you do notice that chasms kind of drop off. There have been likely either the burrowing worms that you saw earlier, or maybe seismic activity. Something over the years has caused a lot of this to kind of crumble away, and so you are walking through this area of this building inside of the cavern wall that has just kind of collapsed. And so some areas you can see below you. You can see the ground maybe 15 feet away or 20 feet away, and sometimes you just catch glimpses with the bit of light that's still filtering in through the doorway of something further away. And you do notice that up ahead there are lights in the ceiling that kind of flicker on as opposed to flickering off. So it's more like every so often you catch light clicking on. But beyond that, at the very end of this hall, you do see another door, overgrown with vines and dark inside.
What's the temperature like in here? Is it the same balmy outside, or?
You know, it's actually cooler. It's definitely much cooler in here. Probably by like 15 degrees. There's still a good deal of humidity. There's nothing that's blocking it, but it's not as bad. There's nothing in here. Like the plant life in here doesn't seem to be really thriving. Whether or not that's on purpose or not, you're not sure.
I guess we'll try to be careful and cross. Do we have to jump any chasms? No, don't use the yes, no, maybe die.
What? I just need
Had to
Winota to
ask.
make an observation check
Yes?
real quick.
Oh, do you need me to make an observation check? Okay.
I know,
Man,
Winona.
this is
Winona.
our 18.
Oh, well,
Me?
you said what? You said what?
Oh no. Okay, well I got a 13, so 13 plus 13 is 26.
So as you're wandering around, kind of going along, you do see camera up ahead, and you're like, "Oh, where did that marker go?" And you just see Yellow Jacket skipping ahead of you, cackling to himself, stuffs his marker back in his pocket.
Winona is struggling and contemplating. Winona grabs Shan's arm tightly, making it a conscious effort not to push Yellow Jacket off of the side.
Just let it go, let it go.
Let it go.
Breathe in, count to 10.
Hold me back. Hold me back.
Ooh, okay, yes, I'm fine. I am relaxed.
You rented it. You didn't buy. You
That's
didn't
right.
trade for it. You rented it.
You rented it for a
Right.
very short
And-
while.
I rented it, and yeah, we didn't discuss the terms of the agreement. Shame on me. You know, we didn't have a contract. Shame on me. That's on me. I'll take the L.
So is everyone continuing towards this door on the far side?
I don't know. You're saying that really weirdly, so I'm just gonna. Can I see if there's? Do any of us like have like a flashlight or something?
I believe some of you did. I
What
know-
is capable of producing light in,
Okay.
flashlight-esque directionality? I don't
your
think
mind's
what
off
so
the
much is concerned about like any of the environment and the hazards of the environments as much as they're very much interested in looking for more data streams. And so that's what they're focused on at the moment, just FYI, Jeremy.
As you're moving in here, it actually seems like there is you notice there is an absolute lack of data streams coming out of this area, and the access that you have is to the stuff that's outside seems to be very, very choppy, as tons and tons of stone and stuff are essentially in the way at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not getting anything.
I'll keep trying.
Okay. If it changes, I will mention it unless I forget, and then if something happens where you're like, did I notice that?
Yep.
Go ahead and call me
I'll
on
point
it.
it out. Yep. All good.
Perfect. All right, so who's going first?
I'll go for it.
All right.
I got 3 arms. I hopefully can catch myself if I fall off. Or...
You'd afford to
I'm
lose
hoping
one
I'll
if
last.
it came to it.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't need all of them.
So Shan heads in, the blinking light above, kind of illuminating a little bit. Is anyone using torchlight or any other?
Yeah, I have a
All right.
flashlight I'm using.
So as you step through here, you notice that this area has survived much better, and the walls themselves seem to be worked with metal beams and structures that are holding it up. However, the years have still not been kind, and you can tell the walkways have cracked as the earth has shifted, and large chunks of rock kind of are scattered about. You look up, you can see pieces of the ceiling that might have one time been like, maybe even like some kind of mosaic or something, have like cracked and fallen out. And Shan, up ahead, you notice there is the end of this hallway. There is a large circular room, and in the center of that circular room, a very, very faint green light seems to be illuminating like the floor, and you see there's like little particles in the air. This is something that most of you have seen before as far as like holographic interfaces, so it's not surprising to you, and you're not like confused as to what it is, but it appears that this is in some kind of dormant state. It's not currently on.
It's in the center of a room. It must be important.
Is it taking up the entirety of that platform?
No, so if you're
Or
looking
is
at
it
the
localized
map,
to the middle?
yeah, it's more that little circle
Okay.
in the middle.
Okay.
And then as you step into the room, if you do go further in, you do notice that it does drop off on the sides of the platform, goes down, and you can hear humming. You can hear maybe machinery or something. You're not sure if it's above you or below you. And there's definitely a coolness here, like something is working to keep this chamber cooler than elsewhere.
Bruno wants to poke the glowy thing.
As you
Figured
poke,
you might.
yeah, as you walk up and you poke the glowy thing, it activates and like a little cursor lights up, kind of blings. A little, there's a tube of metal that's been wrapped around itself, almost like it has some kind of like clipping action that it can do. For those of you who are not getting the Clippy joke, it's all right. You didn't need to.
I'm concerned about Bruno poking this thing. That's all. That's where I'm at.
Fair.
Concerned enough to
I am
stop
concerned.
Bruno from doing so?
No, but
Okay.
certainly concerned enough to watch.
Because I think the poking's about to escalate, because that first poke was not especially satisfactory.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a great payoff there. So
I think Aurora would just call out, just be mindful. I don't know of what. Just be mindful. Be careful. It is like kind of walking, giving like a wide berth and walking around it to see if they notice anything about it.
As you move around it, you notice that this little clip thing has eyes and it kind of blinks and it looks around at all of you. It's watching you all around.
do you speak clan speak, machine?
Sorry, I don't even know what to say to that. It's the GM. The paperclip looks at you, blinks, says, "Hi, I'm Clippy. I'm your personal assistant."
Be so for real.
I'm hanging it up.
Is it speaking
closing.
clan
Yes.
speak or Vive? Or?
No, it's speaking Vive. Yeah, essentially,
Okay.
maybe a crude form of Vive, but
Yo.
I think
Aurora's
Bruno's a little
stunned.
disappointed.
Disappointed, stunned. Completely in awe of this thing.
But still, he switches to Vive. What is this place?
I forgot what I called this place. That's fantastic. I love that. This is the Solar Complex Control Unit.
Solar Complex Control Unit.
What does this control?
The Solar Complex. Would you like to see more?
Yes.
Clippy moves aside and like all of these menus open up and there's various options as far as looking at data on it and like the current status. You can see that there are some timers that are set up. Like there's just like a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, that doesn't help me. I'm not literate.
Yeah.
Tell me about the solar complex.
What would you like to know?
Can it,
What does it
be
do?
unplugged?
The solar complex cannot really be unplugged, no. And it produces sunlight to warm the city beyond and to produce sunlight in order to help the plants beyond grow. Minus all the
Who was
ums.
the last user who came here before us?
That data is classified.
How do you unclassify the data? Wait, I don't know this language, actually. Never mind.
I think everyone speaks 5.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like common.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. How do we unclassify it? Hypothetically.
Oh, that's well above my pay grade. And he winks at you.
I think at that request, what is going to attempt to use data stream and override whatever the simplistic AI's security protocols are and unclassify the information.
So, you're not getting any data stream.
This entity is producing data.
It is. It does not appear to be doing so via any kind of Wi-Fi whatsoever.
No. Data stream the language.
Oh, sorry. Misunderstood. Yeah, you're not seeing... So essentially you want to verbally hack this, is what I'm getting.
Exactly.
Cool. Nice. Let's do science?
Sure.
And this absolutely sounds like a dial tone, or like a dial up.
Oh yeah, it's totally modem squelches.
Yeah.
100%. And just because I want this to happen very badly, even though I have good science, I'm going to spend all of my luck on it. So I didn't need to do that. I rolled a natural 20.
Oh wow!
Plus 14 plus 3, so 37.
37. So
do with that what you will.
As you've all been kind of observing what the last few days connecting to these Wi-Fi, there's nothing that you notice when this happens. What just tells you information out of the blue. Then what walks up to Clippy and starts making the most horrendous noises you have ever heard in existence. It goes on for about 3 minutes. While you're doing that, is there anything that anyone else wants to do, or are you just kind of waiting for what to dive into this?
I'm gonna go back into one of the warmer rooms for a little bit until the screaming is done.
Sure.
I don't even know. I think it's settling for Aurora that this might not be something that they can carry back home. So now they're thinking of, okay, what would it take to bring home here? Yeah, that's where their little head is at.
Okay.
I think Bruno is sniffing the place.
Interesting.
And he's interested in what it smells like, but also like how it's changed as he's moved from the outside down the hall and into this place.
Yeah.
He has a theory, but he's not sure.
So first roll a observation for me.
That might be my first observation success with the 26.
Amazing. So I'm curious what your theory is.
He is sniffing for poison or something like it. He's wondering whether he's remembering how there was all this gunk, all this fungus and stuff like that back in the dome. And he's wondering whether the plants moved in to fill a gap when the Empire fell, or maybe they were the cause of that. And in this place that we've moved into where there's no plants to speak of, are they poisoning them to keep them out or something like that?
So I will say, because there were like the vines that were kind of growing over the door when you came into this chamber itself, and they were kind of shriveled up, it does appear that there is some kind of caretaking going on, some kind of applying of herbicides and such that are keeping things from growing in here. Yes, there is that. As you move further in here, you also have, you got a 26. The smells of the jungle and such from behind just fade away. In here is very reminiscent of the dome in the way that it's like it smells cooler. It smells a little more in certain buildings, especially the science buildings and stuff, a little more antiseptic-y. But there are computers on the dome and like server rooms and stuff that you've passed by or been around, and there's definitely the smell coming up from where it drops off that smells computerish, for lack of a better word. And it smells a lot like the Dream Chamber.
Does Aurora also clock that it smells like the Dream Chamber?
Has Aurora visited Dream Chambers before? We've never talked about that. Like, I know Bruno's the one that's a fan of visiting past times and stuff, but
No, probably not, honestly.
Okay.
There may be like third time stepping into one was probably when they like went to go link up with Bruno and Yellow Jacket the first time.
I will say it does smell like a server room in here, though. Like with the work that you do with Dr. Penn and stuff, there's definitely times you've been around the various computer rooms.
I think Aurora's just curious about, like, since we can't know who the other person was, they want to know what commands were they running, but what is about to get into that, so yeah.
Speaking
They'll
of
just
what?
stand behind and wait.
So, speaking of what, in what's understanding as far as what's coming back out of this holographic paperclip, it says, "You've got mail." What do you want to tell Clippy to do? What's your attempt here?
To unlock administrative level access.
Sure.
To be able to have it share whatever information that it had previously deemed as classified and be able to answer my biological companion's questions. That's the intent behind what's actions.
So after a few moments of what creating this noise and Clippy's like face kind of distorting as it makes the noise back at what, Clippy shuts down, goes away, and all of these various files open up. For what, it's pretty easy to follow. For everyone else, it's like just watching things like fly across the room as this like beam fills out the entirety of the platform with various data.
Wait, so we're able to see this visually? So
Yes.
It's like difficult to follow.
It is difficult to follow
Okay.
everything. However, if you focus on a area, you can probably figure out what's in that area, as opposed to like what's kind of following everything a little bit easier, but maybe not with that 36 or whatever. You're catching quite a bit of it.
Can I specifically try to, I know like we're having trouble following, so it's fine if the difficulty is up or whatever, but can I try to like look for like how this is put together?
Sure. Go ahead and make an observation check for me. Blah, 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 blah.
Or actually, I'm gonna use.
Unless you have... Go ahead.
I was going to ask, can part of the hack involve basically just resetting Clippy to the point to be able to share the information? Because as I understand it, Clippy is still a visual representation of the assistant used to share this information, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think what was trying to like destroy Clippy. I think he was merely trying to unlock access for Clippy to be able to share.
You didn't destroy Clippy. Clippy just like moved off the screen essentially as all of this other stuff filled it up.
Gotcha.
I rolled a 16, so 16 plus 13 is
Nice.
29.
29. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So you're looking around, and because you're looking for specific information, it's a little easier to clock it. And you start seeing diagrams. You start seeing bits and pieces. Okay, so this section over here, is what you're looking for. So you kind of head over there and you're looking through everything. It's going to take a few minutes for you to go through that. While you're doing that, is anyone else doing anything?
Watching this happen.
Okay.
Just taking it all in. Yeah.
I'll wander back in now that the whining has stopped, and I think I want to look for like names of domes and stuff, see if there's any collected information about any other places, or if it's all just like information just about here. And like, I don't know if that would help me know what time frame we're looking at. I'll probably
Interesting.
follow up by asking what.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Go ahead and make an observation for me.
It's no good. I'm gonna use 3 luck points. I still have 1.
Nice.
And I have a +7, so let's see. Plus 10 altogether. 26.
Nice. So it's funny because that is not a question I was expecting anyone to ask, but I love it because there is information here. You see your dome listed. You see Ogygia. You see several other domes you've never heard of. Some of you have. And not necessarily in ways that there's nothing like historically about them. These are sales receipts and blueprints of systems that have been sent to these domes.
Have been sent to the domes from here?
Yeah.
Other domes? Are our domes on there? Are the domes of the people who are related to this all on there?
Yeah.
When are these from?
Oh, quite some time ago, like back when the domes were built.
Shoot. Everyone, I have the receipts.
I have the
Literally.
paper trail.
They're so
Have these
canceled.
been the warranty.
Does it have warranty information? Does it have?
It does.
Like,
It does have warranty
honestly,
information.
yeah, like on
Show me
what
the
was sent
manual.
to the damn domes was the power, were the reactors the things that were sent to
Yeah,
the
where's
domes
the
from here?
expiration date?
Well, so
right?
a couple of
Did
things.
they
One,
set an expiration date?
the warranties have expired. It does look like several emails were sent out about extending those warranties. However, many of them were not answered. A lot of them didn't even get opened
I
directly
used to
to
do that
spam.
as a job. I am.
That should have been on the lines and veils. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right?
That's
Oh, so triggered. Ah!
too close to home.
Right.
Too close to home, Jer. Can we correlate any of this information to locations within our present space for spare parts that would be used for these facilities?
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so hang on, back up for just a moment. I need to ask, where's Bruno?
He's thrown himself off the cliff.
He's like, what's the smell over here? Whee!
He's following
Oh.
his nose like there's a pie.
Or Fruit Loops.
Yeah, I think he's stopped poking the thing because what was clearly working with it somehow, but I think he recognizes. I think he's watching like some of these blueprints. You know, he can't really follow the text, but if there are pictures or wireframes or that kind of thing, I think he can recognize what those are, and I think he's watching that.
So you see that there's a lot of excitement over what's going on where Shan is as far as these receipts and things that have been sent out to the domes. And you look over there and there is a blueprint of the dream room right there. Like, you've been inside of it several times. It's obvious.
We've seen this before. This is in Ogygia.
think as Bruno says that, what will actually summon Clippy back to the front and tell Clippy in Vive, at Bruno's request, please pull up all information related to the OG geolocation as well as any technologies associated to the dream space.
Oh, absolutely. Are you here to talk about the extended warranty?
Sure. Aurora's like, yes.
Excellent. Moves aside.
I turn off Clippy. No, I'm kidding.
Clippy moves to the side and like kind of bends in order to gesture at various blueprints that open up. Many of these units were sent out to the domes upon their completion.
Were they made here? Were these parts made here?
They were.
Can they be remade?
Unfortunately, I've been informed that the factories that once existed here have been rather deconstructed by the local plant life.
Fuck.
When things break, can you tell why?
Only if that information is uploaded.
What is uploaded?
It's like feeding the machine information.
Oh, Aurora, don't you have like literally everything documented? Couldn't you? Is there like an upload socket on this thing?
I've been taking detailed notes on this. Clippy, how can I upload some information to you?
I can handle that. And if you show whatever information that you show to what can provide either through mathematics or through data stream language to Clippy, all of that's presented there.
I fully thought that you were gonna say what opens up his chest.
Oh, like a USB port?
Yes!
A fax machine is in there.
Yeah, I like how Dungeon Teller puts it in the chat. I'm gonna drop the information.
Yeah.
Does Aurora do any like little doodles when she writes? Does she have something like she puts little hearts over the eyes?
Absolutely. Like in the side sections, like, you know, like the margins of the note book, there's like tons of doodles and arrows like pointing to different things. Like little chibi Aurora is like big-eyed, very like expressive of like about certain things. Or they'll like, you know, just draw like cute little drawings of like, you know, flowers they may find, but on the full page is like an extra detailed, you know, diagram and what have you. I think
Aurora must absolutely love Clippy then, right?
Honestly, Aurora, again, does not want to leave, is having the best fucking time in their life right now. This is it. They're like, okay, cool. I might not be able to bring things back to the dome, but I can bring my life here, and that feels like a win in and of itself. But they will give their data pad to what, and will say, please just be very careful with it. I don't have another one. And it literally has all of my information on here. And they will give what their precious baby.
Well, I think what will actually take kind of an intermediary role here, and whatever Aurora wants to share with Clippy, what will just be that translator.
Aurora will share then all the notes they've taken on the failure of the reactors for GTA.
I think Bruno's like really emphasizing that, right? He's hoping that this thing is a machine healer. And if we describe how the dome is sick, maybe it can tell us how to fix it. Yeah.
I think Aurora kind of grabs Bruno's arm and shakes it like in excitement, like, that was brilliant. I didn't even think of that. And lots of emotions going on with them right now.
Okay. I'm going to take this moment, or at this time, to go on our break because, one, I don't know if anyone else has been able to hear her, but I'm going to let her out. And two, I need to drop Miko a private chat about what happens next, and then let Miko decide what to do with that information.
I'm not
That's
sure how I feel
scary
about
at
that.
all.
Don't you dare knock my robot out again.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Thanks everybody for watching. Come back in about 10 minutes and we'll see you then. Welcome back, everybody. We left off what was making some horrendous dial-up noises at Clippy and the interface here for some ancient Dorrem device that seems to control this sun-creating technology. While that has been happening, I do need to make a observation check. This is going to be a difficult check. You're going to have a -8 on this one.
Oh, okay. I believe I have an advantage, so I can reduce that -8 to a -4. using
Sure.
that advantage. Okay,
That's what they're there for.
I will do that. Ooh, good thing. 23.
23. Excellent. In the back of your processing, essentially, in the back of your mind, you set up like a little alert that if any of this Wi-Fi got closer, to ping you an alert. And even though you're actively conversing with Clippy and doing the upload of the information from Aurora's datapad, this area that has been largely cut off from this Wi-Fi network that's outside, you start getting a ping. And first of all, you ping it as being closer, and then you realize it connects to scratch that. You ping it that it's behind you. It's not close, but it's suddenly there.
Okay. Interesting. I will file that away for a moment, because what interprets things in nanosecond interpretations, and so he has to get some response from the biologicals before he hits them with that additional information. Before it hits them with that additional information. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
And then what happens?
So as what is interacting with Clippy, there comes a point where all of the noise just stops. And what turns back towards all of the rest of you and says, there is a great deal of information presented in the systems that could be very helpful to all of you in various possibilities for the saving of your domiciles and your companions and the other biological entities that you represent. However, it should be noted that the information present seems to potentially be correlated to the lack of biological entities such as yourselves in this location. There is a not insignificant amount of danger that were I to present this information to you, it could be very dangerous to you and your domes as well.
Okay, I definitely hear that, and I do receive it. However, couldn't we just figure out why everyone doesn't exist and then do whatever needs to be done to make sure that that doesn't happen?
Yes.
But you're worried
Potentially.
we won't be able to do that.
Oh no, I could very easily not present this information to you, or present it to you in such a way that it would not be as dangerous. However, it would that would be misleading on my part, and I wish to be certain that you would understand that I was misleading you in that regard. That I would not be presenting all information to you, out of an abundance of safety, of course.
Okay. Provide the information and then I will ask more questions.
That seems as though it would be getting around the notion of my initial posit, however.
Well, my main question is, is the information that you are about to provide to us, one, can murder us all, and also the people that we care about, but also two, is it not possible for it to be reverse engineered so that murdering us all does not happen?
This is not related to murder at all. It is more related to the biological safety of entities such as yourselves, and in some ways, even the entirety of the world.
Are the
That is the most
words
cryptic
magic
thing.
or harmful, or do people do bad things with them?
Yes.
I heard about this thing in a book that I read once about nuclear warfare. Is it like that?
No. It
Okay,
is
then it's probably not.
significantly more impactful than such trivial pursuits as nuclear warfare.
I whisper in Aurora's ear. Now, we don't read a lot of books on the run, but I heard that nuclear warfare was actually pretty fucking significant. So that is something to be concerned about.
Yes, 100%. Aurora's like nodding.
If it makes any difference in your decision as I am presenting this to you, the information that I would be potentially presenting has been outlawed for many, many, many centuries in the various pasts of society.
I don't see what other option we have.
I could potentially open this up for information gathering as it relates specifically to the repair of the systems that you are seeking repair for.
Okay.
That may be enough. However,
that would be helpful.
It may not be sufficient to facilitate the repair by itself. Whereas, if I did present the entirety of what I have discovered, you would very likely be able to repair all of the systems functionally, not without some amount of risk of devastation to your entire dome, but there would be a higher chance of... Let's put it this way. It's an all-or-nothing proposition when it comes to facilitating this outlawed technology. It is a reasonable risk if I merely present it in such a way that you might be able to facilitate natural repairs of your facilities.
Let's see about facilitating natural repairs, and if that doesn't seem sufficient, we will come back to the table.
Provided that you have the time for such things, I am certainly amenable to that. I have a considerable amount of time.
Then why give us it? What is the purpose of you displaying the information to us in this way? Are you asking us if we want to receive all the information, or are you just informing us of the situation? Because if you're just informing us of the situation, then just give us the information and then we will figure it out from there. But it seems like you are inquiring or asking about something.
It presents a moral quandary and also a not insignificant statement regarding your trust of me. As I am being plainly open and honest with you, that I would be shielding you from potentially harmful information that has been outlawed for centuries. Or I can present it to you and you can do with it what you will, knowing that there is a not insignificant risk to all peoples and even the world if I give it to you.
So do you believe that if we choose to not receive the shielded information, that we do not trust you?
No, I believe that that would show a remarkable amount of trust if you allow me to shield that information.
Okay, huddle with everyone except what? Because I don't know.
In the meantime, I will return momentarily. I wish to investigate a new signal, and what will just walk out of the room towards the door.
Okay. You do walk by Yellow Jacket, who's doodling on the wall with the yellow marker, drawing birds. No birds
As
in here.
Yellow Jacket is doing that, what is going to pull from like one of their storage receptacles a small like ocular repair piece for one of their lenses that just happens to be slightly yellow tinged. It's like a prismatic lens that has a yellow tinge to it, and will just like place it on in their hand before they walk by.
Within his pocket. Mine.
No response. Just keep going.
All right. What has left the room?
I think we should just have all the information. It's knowledge that can be used and should not be lost or buried away, gate kept by some night we can't even see.
Who would come after us? Why is this outlawed? I am so confused.
Clippy, can you tell us why this information is outlawed?
I didn't shut off Clippy.
You didn't shut off
Clippy
Clippy.
still has full administrative access. They could go entirely around what? They just may not be able to understand it.
You know, Clippy has emotions. Clippy has like facial, and Clippy looks confused. I don't understand your query. What outlawed information?
He did?
The classified information.
Oh, there's no classified information here.
Ah, you're right. The information that was just recently unlocked, insert time frame, because I don't know what in-game time frame it is, to the public. It would have switched very recently.
So
I know you hold the previous status of things, Clippy.
So I think I'm trying to like verify. I think what you're trying to say is like, what did what look at?
Yeah, okay, so upon hearing like Clippy be like, well, what are you talking about? Aurora will say, okay, hold on. What I want to know is, tell me the exact information that was just processed a couple of minutes ago from the very last user, from the technological, from what?
The information that was processed from the last user was the information uploaded by a datapad serial number, and like rattles off the serial number of your datapad.
Aurora's like, fucking hell, this is...
Clippy, I need you to know that it is very frustrating working with you. And I think that it makes complete sense for you to have... Do you not hold the previous status of things, Clippy?
Clippy absolutely in that moment pops up with a survey.
Smashing the X button, smashing holographic.
Dissatisfied.
Yeah.
You are currently looking at the information that has recently been accessed, and there's just like, you know, so much data in the holograms that are all around you.
Okay, what? Come back.
I think, okay, Aurora will ask it this. They'll say, let's try a different approach. Using the information that was just uploaded to you and the information that you have retained on the Dome Ogygia, how can repairs be made to bring it somewhere near 100% working for the reactors? Is it possible?
Unfortunately, I do not have the information to answer that question. The information that I have concerns the solar... I forgot what I called it again. The solar complex construct.
I wrote it down. Solar complex control unit.
Control unit, thank you.
Aren't any of you worried about the powerful old magic that what was talking about?
It's not that I'm not worried, okay? The problem is, if I know I bring up death and dying a lot, but here's the thing. Our dorms, we'll be fine because we're nomads. But your domes are failing. And not everyone, I'm sure you can attest, I don't know why I almost called you Brutus. Like, I was like, Bruno, I'm sure you can attest, Bruno, not everyone is built to face the cold and the wild animals that exist. No matter what, death is certain to hundreds of people. So the answer is, do we let them die with the fate that they are aware of? Or do we introduce a possibly new fate that might potentially be worse? I don't know. I don't even know what the fate is.
When I left the Dark Eyes, I made that decision for myself. I didn't make it for all of them.
Well, Bruno, have you ever heard of the what's that? The tram car conundrum?
Oh my god.
If there's 6 people,
There's 6 people on one.
let's just say when no one ever recites this perfectly.
Yeah.
If there's 6 people on one train and then you pull it, did you commit a murder?
Right.
Or did you save people? What's the answer? And the answer is that there is no answer. It's all about perspective. But the fact is that we currently are here. Nobody else is here. Everyone's lives are on the line now. And we are the group of people that came here and made it. So whether we like it or not, that decision is in our hands. Now, we could choose to just ignore it, but in ignoring it, that is a decision that we are consciously making. Because we have made it here, there is no way for us to not make a decision.
While Aurora's having this conversation with Bruno, can Aurora be looking at like the past information of like the reactors, specifically with the reactors for Ogygia, and trying to come up with just a solution themselves? They're like, I can't fucking rely on Clippy. I need to just go pen to paper, old school. I don't want to deal with this fucking machine anymore.
Sure. So essentially you want to like pull the information that's from Ogygia and kind of go through it specifically, decipher what it means. I'm going to have you do a science roll, and this will take a few minutes. So like conversations are going on while this is happening, and we're going to have to step out into the other hallway with what for a moment after you make this roll.
And just so you know, Blue, you are experiencing the exact frustrations that every Microsoft user had for the 8 years that Clippy existed.
I got a 35.
A 35. Amazing. We'll come back to you.
I would like to say, if what dies before they are able to give this information to us, I'm crashing out. I'm logging off.
Control Alt
and I am
fucking delete.
done.
For what it's worth, it is extremely difficult to kill what.
Fair.
Just
fair.
Good.
So what? You've left the room. Of course, your sensors are likely strong enough to pick up what they're saying anyway.
100%. Observation 16. I know everything that's going on in that room.
Right. You're trying to tune them out, and you walk into the hallway, and you're pinging this, or you're like tracking this ping that's closer, and you notice...
I'm actively pinging, trying to get contact with whatever the signal is. Yep.
So it's kind of like pinging... it's actually almost like radar at this point, because it's not picking up, but you are hitting something that isn't answering back. And so when you get to the non-caved in area of the hallway, you're not really that surprised to see a very large figure standing in the archway that leads outside. This figure is easily the size of Shan, maybe a little bigger. It is a little difficult to get a good look at it because of it's in silhouette. Your sensors are a little like able to process information a little bit differently than eyeballs are, and so you do get this is probably a Dorrem. very large Dorrem, has a very large, like, halberd energy weapon, and is just standing there, almost like he's guarding or something, and is watching you.
And I'm assuming that whatever the system is has not responded with any kind of acknowledgement to my
Correct.
ping. So in that case, then, I think that what would start instead of like a data stream, because I don't think that this entity, even a Dorrem, I don't think would be capable of processing data stream as a language. I think then he's going to initially start with the language of mathematics and basically just inquiring their purpose.
The figure does not respond.
I will move down then all of the languages.
Okay.
Starting with Doric.
You do notice, in one hand he has the halberd, but in the other hand does have a data pad. He seems to, like, glance down at it every so often.
Oh, perfect. Can I connect to the data pad?
It seems like that's what you're pinging, actually. That isn't
right. When I was speaking before, though, I was speaking out loud to see if the
I see what you
creature
mean.
would respond.
Yeah. It does not respond like Clippy does. No.
Can I ping the data pad and hack the data pad, so to speak, through the data stream and attempt to have it present a message?
Yeah, we could try that.
Okay.
So let's do. I feel like it's gonna have to be science.
I'm fine with that. Keep making me roll all the things I'm good at.
Right? Didn't roll poorly for there, so.
Science. Okay. Not too bad. 25.
Amazing. So it does appear that there's, like, kind of a firewall around it, but you find just enough, like, slippage in the data.
I'm just trying to present a message. I'm not trying to actually retrieve anything. I'm doing a very basic, simplistic type
right.
of hack.
But, like, you know, trying to get in to actually access the data pad, you manage just to, like, barely squeeze by. And what message would you like to send?
I think just from it's a very formal and very honorific type of thing, in the same vein of Guardian, please understand we mean no harm. Can you please state your purpose? Something along that. I'm basically trying to just, with as much decorum as possible, ask what it is doing here.
So as you send this message, you're not, like, really looking at the data, but you're accessing the data pad, and you're kind of, like, bumping the current open file out of the way, essentially. You realize he's just playing, like, essentially solitaire on this data pad while he's
playing Galaga.
Right. He sighs. What you do is dependent on what you plan to remove from data center. I wait
I'm
here.
assuming he's speaking in Doric.
He is.
Okay. Then in Doric, what will respond? There is no intention to remove anything from the data center. There is an intention to learn whilst in the data center.
Knowledge is removal
Dangerous.
from data center.
Knowledge is learning. That knowledge would still remain within the data center.
Only
there is no
if you
intention to
remain
destroy
within data center.
Understood. Your intention then is, were anything to be learned from within the data center, the entities that would learn such things would not be allowed to depart.
And depending on what you learn in data center.
Understood.
What have you
Given-
learned in data center?
Given said context, I would like to go and confer with the other biologicals that I arrived with. Is that amenable?
I wait here.
Excellent. Enjoy your game. And then, like, what will cause Galaga to pop back up on the screen.
Oh,
And actually, I think what would even, like, upload a newer version of it to the
nice.
to the pad
Oh, graphics much better in this version. Yes.
before turning on their heel and walking back towards the others.
So Aurora is mid going through this information when what gets back hasn't quite gone through everything. Is anyone else doing anything during that interim?
Well, did she make progress?
Yes.
on that?
And I'll get to that in just a
Okay.
moment. I just want to,
Okay.
in the interim between now and when you all stop talking about this, is anyone else doing anything, or are you just kind of hanging out to see what Aurora finds?
Well, I know that Winona said was talking to Bruno about like blah 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 train theory blah 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 blah. Does Bruno say anything, or is it just kind of like
Ethics, blah 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 blah.
ooh, like
I think Winona lost Bruno with the trains.
no, that's real. That like Winona started talking about the trains, and then Bruno went like like the math girl meme, like
You just like a train
Bruno
car instead of
Bruno
all of
didn't
those like
understand
right.
everything that what described, but he knew that there was a great and dangerous and ancient magic here that threatened the whole world, and he was scared by that. And he's a little weirded out that no one other than what seems to recognize the gravity of that warning.
does Bruno vocalize this?
Did you hear that, Brute or Ed?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
thinking.
I just want to make sure you heard. Sorry.
I think that he sort of feels like he tried, and I don't know that he goes back to it. I think especially the part that he already said about sort of he's comfortable with making decisions for himself, but not for everyone else. I think that really sort of crystallizes what's on his mind, and he already said that. So I think he's sort of satisfied having said that to let Winona and Shen and Aurora make their own decision.
I think Shan is feeling similarly. I think if Bruno's vibe is a little bit off, I think Shan is feeling it, and it's like they're agitated. I don't think she really knows why she's feeling so agitated. But yeah, I would like to know a little bit more about who's going to be after us, what this even is. I don't know. I'm confused.
Okay. So with all of that, Aurora, you have found. So essentially, you're looking at the stuff that has already been installed in Ojigia in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just wanted to verify before I started explaining things you don't care about. So there was a system that is proprietary, apparently, to this, like, to a Doric company that probably doesn't even exist anymore, but you're not 100% sure, like, you're not seeing any information about that, that devised these chambers that create temporal interactive experiences.
Okay.
And many of the domes purchased chambers to do this, Ojigia being one of them, Toxic Ass City being another one. And I mean, there's just a list. You can kind of like scroll through that. It's a separate thing. But it appears that this proprietary technology was actually based on a larger design. And you can easily follow that to be what is in the city behind you. And that like essentially is warming and lighting and keeping it alive in there. And that's about where you get.
We're like in a massively sized dream chamber. Is that what I'm like learning?
Kind of, yeah. I will give you that the word that pops out that might be what is concerned about was temporal, which is time travel. Which, what you know, was outlawed quite some time ago. But what that has to do with these, you're not, because like Bruno's gone into them and come back out and is like, as far as you know, has never left this time. So you're not totally sure what, at this point, with the information that you got, you haven't gleaned how that all works yet.
Okay.
And then
I
what
think
walks in?
Aurora. Perfect timing, honestly. Okay.
Have your discussions proved fruitful?
No, we.
My sympathies. I bring further complication to your decisions then.
Oh,
What?
what now?
There is a Dorrem guardian waiting out in the hall. I do believe that their intention is to prevent any learning of some of what I had previously ascribed to being potentially dangerous and or outlawed knowledge from leaving this place. If you were to learn that, that guardian would need to be dealt with.
Well, I haven't had any luck with what I was doing, unfortunately.
Excellent. Then you are safe for the moment.
I looked. Winona's gonna make eye contact with Aurora.
Inside check!
Gives you that look like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't say anything.
Do you want to leave this place?
I beg your pardon?
Do you want to leave this place?
I will leave this place at some designated time in the future.
How are you gonna leave this place if he's gonna kill anybody that leaves with information?
I believe that I have alluded to this on multiple occasions. However, it is not something I particularly enjoy discussing. I will outlive you. I will outlive
so real.
I will outlive the Dorrem. They are still a biological entity. If they require me to stay because I have ostensibly learned some of this information, which I may be able to discuss my way through, I will remain until their whatever biofueled nanos in their system become inert, or they turn into a hollow one, and at which time I will be able to dispatch them rather easily, in fact.
All right, so
If
our
he has
options
the
are
magic,
go ahead.
you would stay here forever?
No, I would stay merely as long as it is required for the Guardian to no longer be a threat.
What if he's magic?
I will determine how that affects my programming and goals and function and change accordingly. I will adapt, as all Ozits do.
Wonderful. So our options are to leave with nothing and leave without a what, or to absorb this information and fight a golem that's outside, knowing
not
that whatever
entirely accurate.
information we receive may be extremely dangerous and hurt the world. Da 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 da.
No, there is another option. The Guardian seems only particularly interested in the knowledge of what I had previously ascribed to being outlawed knowledge. You could potentially still access the information present here to learn what is needed to potentially fix your reactors or method crystals or whatever methods your domes utilize for survival. That is not outlawed knowledge and not something that the Guardian would be interested in keeping you here for.
So the golem knows what knowledge is outlawed.
Most certainly.
So that means the golem knows all the knowledge that's in here.
Whether or not they are capable of understanding or processing that is still a question, but I believe that that is entirely possible.
Okay, so couldn't we just ask them if there is a non-outlawed way to save our domes?
That is what I'm presenting to you. You could
I think
filter
that's a
that
great
through me.
idea.
But
You
okay,
two should go talk to the golem.
who, me?
Mhm.
Sorry. Winona's like, you know what? I walked right into that. Okay, let's go. Chop chop.
But I've already presented said solution for that purpose.
Did you, or did you say some fancy cryptic stuff and then say indubitably or something and then come back to us?
Indubitably was never used in any of my vernacular, although I can replay my memory systems just to be certain.
No. Okay, goodbye. Let's go. No need.
Winona.
Let's get this over with.
And as you turn to leave, Yellow Jacket standing there in front of you, puts up his hand. I got this. He turns and pulls out like a little knife and starts like stalking out of the room, heading towards the...
I'm gonna grab Yellow Jacket by his tuff and hold him in the air and shake him like you grab a kid by the back of their shirt.
Like there's all these feathers that were like halfway like kind of spit glued on or like tucked into things that are just like flying everywhere. Hey!
I'm gonna put Yellow Jacket on top of Bruno's shoulders and I'm gonna be like, start!
Oh, good. Yeah, good idea. Higher, stab down, into face.
Bruno, watch them. And Winona is gonna march out to talk to this storm because I guess that's what she's doing now.
Wow, those
Yellow
two are
Jacket's
having
kind of
that
like doing this.
conversation?
Yeah,
What
Bruno.
is not going anywhere?
Okay, cool. So Winona's gonna do it herself.
Okay.
Whatever.
While Winona does that, then Aurora will look to the remaining three in the room and will say, I think Winona said it best. We will be making a decision whether or not we like it, whether that means leaving here and leaving this knowledge that has the potential to help however many domes that are out there that are failing, or we take it and we give it to these domes.
It is worth reiterating. Simply learning of the forbidden / outlawed knowledge does come with it a significant amount of risk. The power that would be required to utilize this knowledge in the way that would for certain save your domes is staggeringly significant and could result in complete failure of your domes if inadequate power is reached. The third option that, and gestures towards Winona, she perhaps errantly misunderstood, was that if you were to trust me, I could filter that knowledge to potentially give you what you need to eventually repair your domes. It would also necessitate my remaining here to meet the Guardian's needs, but you should be able to leave freely, as you would not possess the outlawed knowledge. But it, again, would perhaps not be the guarantee that you are hoping for.
Okay. Let's do it.
I mean, you're willing to sacrifice what? for this.
What would be sacrificed?
Time,
Exactly.
I guess. Did you learn anything from this here? Like, did you not already know a lot?
Oh no, this is entirely new information to me. It may exist in the many significant volumes of knowledge that Ozit have access to, but this is all new information for me.
All right, so while that conversation plays out, Winona, you're stalking down this hallway. You climb down like the kind of jagged area where it drops off on either side and get into the like more solid area of the hallway. And sure enough, standing down at the end, kind of blocking the entrance, is this enormous figure holding this power weapon. It's you can't get details because he's just silhouetted. But it looks like he's just blocking the way.
Cool. As Winona's walking down this, she does like slow down, get second thoughts, and is like, I'm not built for this. But she does keep going, because if there's one thing that is worse than putting your own life in danger, it's going back humiliated without anything. So Winona walks up and is like, hi, hello, Winona. What is your name? What can I call you? Who should I refer to you as?
It's about this time that like these little silver drones pop up.
Cool.
And
they all have the yellow. I will freak out.
They do have that yellow lens that you found earlier, and this yellow beam like flashes across your eyes, and you kind of blink it away. You get some tears from it. You're like, what the heck was that? You see the movement from the big guy. Looks down at what looks like a data pad. You are free to leave if you wish.
No, I would. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Also, sorry about putting like. Is the light yellow because it's yellow, or is the light yellow because I drew on it?
Oh, that's a good question. Hang on.
That does matter.
It's because you drew on it.
Cool. So Winona like takes the drone and it's just like, hold on, let me just get it, and like licks it, like licks her thumb and like wipes it off like a mom wiping spit off your face, and it's like, all right,
thank you.
okay. Yeah,
thank you. I was going to have to clean those.
Yeah, no, I am sorry about that. I wasn't sure if it was like the drones were gonna kill us or something. It was freaking me out. But don't worry, on my way out, I will make sure to clean up the marker from them, so that you can spy per your leisure. Now, I, if permitted, would appreciate asking you a couple of questions. I see that you're busy, you have your game, but would you be willing to put it down for just a couple moments for me to ask you some questions?
I am getting near high score. But has pause function. Pauses it, puts it down.
Fantastic. Perfect. So my question is, I have gotten an understanding that I don't really know much. All I know is that there is non-confidential information and there is confidential information. To give you a rundown, and I basically give them a very quick rundown of, hey, we are dying. The domes are dying, and we would like to not die. Right?
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
So basically, I understand information is confidential. Is there a non-confidential information that we can utilize that may help us in some way?
I don't think you find answer you looking for here. Not one that you get to leave with.
Got you. So it's essentially there is an answer, but we don't get to leave, or there isn't, and we get to leave.
You asking two separate questions. One, I can tell you no answer for here. Second question, answer, but me have to kill you.
Right, understood.
Or you stay in chamber. You get all knowledge of chamber. You keep to yourself. Stay in chamber.
Now, follow-up question. Because there's like a whole city out there. Is there just one of you? Because could we just stay in the city with the knowledge and then you just guard the doors out? Or is that not an option?
Well, too many doors out. You sneaky people can, get out, but you stay in chamber. Everything fine. But you don't have information. You free to go.
Okay, I'll be back. Winona leaves because this is going nowhere. Winona, like, in her head is like, this was a waste of time, but doesn't say anything. Doesn't say that. But she does make a note to clear off the lenses because that guy seems really cool. And it would suck if we had to kill him. So Winona walks back.
Especially before he got his high score in Galaga.
Yeah,
Rude.
let's like at least let him get that high score, y'all.
Right.
Yeah, so Winona walks back. I don't know at what point she enters this conversation, but whatever. You let me know.
About the time that you all were wrapping up what you were talking about, Winona returns.
Yeah, so that guy's cool. He's trying to get his high score in Galaga. We might have to kill him.
What happened when you met him?
Oh, he said I could leave. I asked him specifically. Wait.
Why did he say you could leave?
Because I didn't have the information.
How does he know you don't have the information?
He scanned me with the drones.
Okay.
Also, by the way, even with the markers, even with marking off the lenses on the drones, they are still able to scan you and it still works.
So, GM, what could I roll to see how to not get pinged on these scans?
Gotcha.
Because I don't fucking plan on staying in this damn chamber. I have to get this back.
So Winona kind of explains what happened and make a science check for me.
All right. Don't you fucking fail me, I swear to God. Okay, 31.
Nice. What it's probably doing is scanning engrams created when you build memory. And if you don't have certain engrams that are of the information that is forbidden to leave, apparently you get to leave just fine.
Okay. Ugh.
Wait, I'm sorry. Specifically, what was the criteria of the scan?
So essentially, he was looking for physical markers in your brain that you had gained certain information that hasn't happened in Winona's brain.
Yeah.
Well,
But
if you're already doomed because you know this information, I would like to have the trickle down knowledge with whatever I can do.
Aurora's uploading information on their data pad at such a fucking fast rate right now. They're just texting away. Shuffles next to Winona while that goes on.
What are you
I'm
uploading?
interpreting your request correctly, Shan. You wish to know what I know so that you would also be required to remain?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope, Shan wants
This
to
is
be
why I
able to
requested
leave.
clarification.
Yeah. I would like to know what you think I could know without also damning myself. I think.
Understood.
Guys, yeah. I don't know about anyone else. But...
Is that the understanding that all of you would have?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is above game question, so it's fine if I would have to make some rolls to see if this would happen. So you can change the essentially how your brain appears on like certain scans, such as like radiology and stuff like that. And normally you have to like have, consume a certain liquid or have an injection or something like that, right? So by that logic, couldn't we cheat the system? Also, is the dorm colorblind? Do we have that information?
Not that you know of.
Okay.
As far as whether you can cheat this scan, I mean, there are logics that you're thinking of that could work. You're not sure whether they will or not, but it's worth a try.
Okay, so something that would be relatively harmful to drink would be in a traditionally yellow warning container with the skull and crossbones.
You were describing to a T the water bottle that Yellow Jacket drinks out of on a regular basis.
I thought you were gonna like pull something that like actually happened. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't even know that. So could I just get a little peek-see in Yellow Jacket's bag and be like, listen, I know we've had our differences, but let me look in your bag to see if we can make sure that my cousin doesn't die here. You know, my cousin who you like very much? Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah, okay, cool. I was about to say, Yellow Jacket canonically likes Aurora. Get it.
I think it's the telling Yellow Jacket that they like something. Whether you know they do or not,
Brings
whether
up the
Yellow
brat
Jacket has
in Yellow
literally
Jacket.
just said it, Yellow Jacket might argue with you over it.
Extremely Yellow Jacket coded, honestly.
Yellow Jacket puts his bag down, opens it up. No touch, look.
Okay, can I no touch. Can I look around to see if there's like any of those vials? And also, if this is a completely dumb like train of thought to like go on, you could be like, Bree, stop. But basically, I am looking.
I'm with it personally.
I'm looking for something that I could give my cousin to drink that may make them a little loopy for a second, but won't show up on cameras.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel like Aurora definitely like, you know, bait that eye contact with Winona on some I got it, but did not tell Winona what it was. But so Winona is aware that like, okay, Aurora knows something, and you just see Aurora like typing away because I do feel like Winnie knows Aurora enough to know that if Aurora's like, okay, well, I have to just be here, then somebody should know this information, and this is all I can do right now, which is why they're like on their data pad writing those things down.
Also, Winona's not leaving their cousin here. Winona will fight this golem by herself and die. And that'll just be
double teaming this thing.
Listen, we will
It will just be what it is.
Fucking
so, as far as like Winona looking in the bag, I did let the yes no maybe die decide. You don't see anything that's going to change like essentially a brain scan in Yellow Jacket's bag.
Jeremy, could I
Yeah.
posit that what would understand the situation
Yes.
as it is? And is it reasonable to assume that what can conclude that Aurora might know of the existence of said technology, but because she does not know the details of how it is used, it would not trigger any engram scans for...
That is
needing
one way
to
that
stay.
you could posit it, yes.
Okay.
Well,
what will present that? Because what we'll actually ask Aurora very clearly. Do you understand how this outlawed technology functions?
No.
Could you recreate this technology?
No.
Then at the moment, I believe that you are safe.
okay. I hear you what. And ordinarily I would agree with you. However, the dorm is not scanning the brains. The technology is scanning the brains. So that means that if Aurora knows something, that is classified. Is the existence of whatever Aurora knows classified?
But it is known in history that such temporal technologies has been outlawed.
Well, now you've just told all of us. So I guess we'll all find out. Because I guess we will all find out together as a team.
Dead. That's so funny.
Case point, let's go.
We have not yet facilitated the actual knowledge that you will need to save your domes.
Let's take care of that.
Excellent. To be clear, do you all trust me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Enough.
Very good. Then, for however long it takes, what will be an intermediary between the data that the system can produce and their biological companions in an effort to provide them with what should be sufficient to at least temporarily, for however many decades or even just simply years it might work, the ability to repair the damage done to their dome's power systems without delving into requiring the use of temporal technology to do so. Does that make sense, Jeremy? Given the caveat that what knows it's a temporary fix.
Right. So I guess my question is, where does that put what?
Where does that put what?
Yeah.
Still in the exact same predicament that what was already in.
Yeah, what's gonna have to stay here, or we're gonna have to kill the golem to get what out of here. I have not decided. Winona has not decided yet how high the social link is with what to make that decision.
So what's
willing to accept that they know it to prevent the biologicals from understanding it?
Okay. But what information is it that you're going to send them with to at least temporarily save their domes?
Patch jobs, whatever function the nuclear systems or the crystalline systems, because what understands, although these people might not, that it might only give them another generation or two worth of power, but that's the intention that what has. Again, not for certain, not a permanent fix, because that would require understanding of the full scope of the outlawed knowledge, and what is not willing to give that over.
Gotcha. That makes sense to everybody else? And are your characters good with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
what seems like a half measure for what could still be generations of our timeline.
Yeah, Yellow Jacket stands up and says, actually, when you think about it, it does actually give us more time.
Listen, I'm leaving. Bye. I'm hitting the end call button.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think if what felt more passionately about being left here, Winona would be more gung-ho to be like, no.
Gotcha.
Stop. But since at every measure what has just been like, it is what it is, I think Winona's like, all right, you know what, whatever. See you never.
Mind, this isn't gonna be the last time they see what. Like, they can come visit what, and they would make the trip. So,
hey, it's nice here. Have a summer home.
Exactly.
Also, why can't we just bring everyone to live here? Is that just not an option?
Do we have to bring everyone?
Well, no, just the ones that we like.
I don't think it's big enough, honestly. Is it big enough, Jeremy? Like,
do you like that
like
many people, Aurora?
It's about the size of one of the dome cities.
I mean, what would probably present the notion that there is a reason that the Dorrem that used to live here no longer live here? It presents its own dangers living in a place such as this.
Yeah, and we'll just...
It's one of those,
OGG
it's
is
nice
not the only
to
dome
visit.
failing.
we'll bring the cool, strong people, and they can stay here. But everybody else
We can come back after we fix the domes.
So
Winona
plan
is gonna
is-
leave here with something.
So the plan is for
But that-
what to essentially give you all some information that will temporarily patch the various technologies
Yeah.
and buy the domes that you were from at least some time to maybe find another solution. And
We have some notes, and it's information we didn't know before. So that's information that can be shared, and we have brilliant minds of today too. I don't think Aurora has given up hope.
Could I also roll to see if there's like another, like a third possible option that we're just not thinking of because we're
A
just
secret hidden
random.
option.
a
I
random?
mean, I don't know what those options are.
Oh, fantastic! Because listen, the only creative thought that I had was the brain thing, and Yellow Jacket doesn't have it. So
That was honestly really good though.
That was
It's
really good. Yeah.
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 So Yellow Jacket failed you all, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
yes, sorry,
I'm
Yellow
gonna fix
Jacket.
Casper.
You came through with the yellow marker, but you
Right.
failed it at the toxic chemicals that would temporarily change the color of your brain.
Sashay away.
Right.
Sashay away.
And
It is also important to note, Jeremy, that the information that what provides, what is going to do the calculations in their mind that will not extend the lifespans of their domes beyond what Ozits have already assumed will be the lifespans of their domes.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know if that was off screen or on screen where we were talking about how the Ozits expected something and it actually hasn't turned out that way. These domes are dying faster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we figured we did talk about that a little bit on stream. What's
Yeah.
entire job, their entire function is going around the world, finding biological domes, and then analyzing when they're going to die off, so that Ozits can come in and reclaim all of the leftover technology.
Fair. Reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly.
Oh, so what's like not a villain, but like could be seen as a villain to some people who were very passionate about that.
All Ozit can be seen as villains by
Yeah,
biologicals in this world, for 100% certain.
And in return, what is going to stay here and hang out with Clippy for eternity until the Dorrem die off. And
How long has that dorm been here? Sorry, I'm gonna leave it alone.
good question.
Dorrem can live quite a while, given their nano, the nanotechnology that exists within their blood. But their
We
nanotechnology still. Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
We have established that they're time magicians.
Yeah, there's that too.
So that's what I'm like. I'm like, what? Because in my brain, what is staying here forever? I know what is like, they'll eventually outlive himself. I'm like, no. That man is magic. That is a magic man.
You're also
It's
so,
this is irrelevant. We need this information so we can go.
you,
We don't know if we gotta kill this guy or not yet.
You also are supplanting the notion that what is incapable of doing something that perhaps, I don't know, maybe sabotages that Guardian source of biofuel.
What is their biofuel? Galactica?
We'll see. We'll see. So, do we need to do any kind of checks or anything for the sharing of this information?
So, I guess do me a science check, first of all. As you're processing some calculations, spitting out some information for them.
26.
26. You're not, like, you feel pretty confident about what you're giving them, but there are some factors that are coming up in your calculations that just seem a little off, and you're not sure why. There is a factor there's an X in there that you're not accounting for, but you get the feeling this will buy them at least probably a generation, maybe two. And
What's very clear about that then? And
Okay.
I think what would even interpret that X factor as the biological condition and present that to them as a positive thing? Even though in what's mind it's still, all math.
And then you upload this to
Aurora makes
Aurora's
sense.
datapad?
Datapad, as well as, talking them through stuff. Even if it does completely go beyond them. But mostly to Aurora's datapad.
Okay. So this does take some time. You all hang out, you eat some food, some of you rest, and when you're all ready and you head down the tunnel to head back into the city proper, sure enough, there's this enormous Dorrem standing there blocking the way. He's switched over to a different game, and he's kind of cackling to himself as you get closer, and he looks up. Oh, you decide to leave.
Yes.
Please step forward, be scanned.
Winona steps forward first, I guess.
These sensors come up, scan you again. Oh, you pass, you go free, go home, go wherever you go. I don't know you.
Okay, Winona moves forward but does not leave until Aurora goes.
Okay.
Aurora will step up next.
You get scanned, completely just the light goes over you. He looks at his datapad. Takes a moment longer than Winona.
Aurora reaches for their rifle.
You pass. Yeah, you pass. You go ahead. You go on with friend. Yes.
Great. Skips along next to Winona. Grabs into her, shaking her arm.
Winona has never hugged you tighter. Winona has shown you not much affection this entire time. Winona hugs you so tight.
Yeah.
Stepping through Shannon, Bruno, and Yellow Jacket all. Actually, Yellow Jacket gets scanned. It's like, machine broken. Scan again. It's scanned again. You alive?
Dang, we should have given Yellow Jacket the information. I knew it. I knew it.
Shakes his head, looks around. Yeah, you go. You leave. And
You leave, please.
right.
Do not come back.
Waiting back in the server room, what sits down for what will likely be...
What was there with them while all of that was taking place?
Oh, good. I was going to say, wait, they would not have left what in the server room?
No, what was there with them?
Will what try to get scanned?
No. What knows what the outcome would be of that?
Well, can't we just see it? You don't have well, actually, I guess you do have a brain, but you don't have a brain like that. It's different. It's different brain.
It's the memory. It's the memory.
Well, no, they
But
have
can you
some.
try?
Oh, I guess they don't. I don't know.
So
yeah, let's see.
What you don't get scanned, but as you get closer, you feel that pinging, and it becomes pretty apparent that there is already there is no dodging it or anything like that, and everyone can see the datapad that the Dorrem is holding is flashing red. I see you chose to stay. I will give you opportunity to let me wipe your brain.
No, that is not sufficient.
Oh,
we can have conversations.
Sorry, not brain, hard drive.
That is not necessary. We can have conversations.
You wish to stay? I not have conversations with people long time. Friends, he gestures at the Dorrem who are long rotted away in the hallway. Very quiet these days.
I think Aurora looks at what, teary-eyed, surprising nobody. Gives a firm nod and just says thank you.
You're welcome. If it matters at all, I very much hope that you are successful in repairing, at least temporarily, your domes.
I hope so too. I'll come back and let you know.
Excellent.
Thanks, Wood. It's nice here, so yeah, maybe we'll come by.
Do be cautious on the rails. They are somewhat dangerous. Please remember that.
Winona,
Noted.
you're standing there. Everyone's like having this moment. All of a sudden, there's this horrendous bird shriek from right next to you as Yellow Jacket screams, and you see another bird in the bush like take flight, and he goes running off into the bush after it.
Did we just
We're leaving
lose?
Yellow Jacket here.
I guess.
Yellow
Ride
Jacket
free,
is dead.
Yellow Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great time.
Oh, great.
It'll leave when it's done. It'll find its way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you all head out.
I think we start making
Do
our
we,
way
though?
back.
Do we, Jeremy?
Does Bruno say
Mm.
anything at the end of that?
Does Bruno stay?
I think Bruno waves and says goodbye.
Fair enough. What would wave back?
All right, as everyone heads back through the city, it does take you a few days. Not as long as getting here. Well, getting down here, you were spending a lot of time investigating, as well as kind of learning what was dangerous and what wasn't. So getting back out is definitely faster. There's just a matter of avoiding various carnivorous plants, animals that you're still not quite sure of. Every so often, Yellow Jacket comes running through nearby you, scaring the pants off anyone who's paying attention. And you get
Do
back
they steal
to
the pants afterwards?
no, because no one's wearing yellow pants.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think anyone had yellow pants, so you get back to the door. Winona punches in the code. It rolls open. You head back out. You aren't really sure where to go from here as far as, what's the fastest way to get back. And so you just kind of meander through the tunnels until you find one of the train platforms. You get on that and end up taking... Yellow Jacket does go with you. Hang on. Got to check the yes, no, maybe die.
For what it's worth, Jeremy, if you would allow it,
Yeah.
I think what would have uploaded to the datapad the safest and most direct path that they would have to take for their return.
Do you want that to be in line with the yes, no, maybe die that rolled something?
Sure.
Even though you end up not having to fight them to get out of the station, it does lead you back to the station that Yellow Jacket wanted to lead you to begin with. And so Yellow Jacket gets to a bunch of the scabs, hangs out with them, in fact, stays with them as you all head back to Domagigia. When you reach Domagigia, I mean, it's only been a couple of weeks since you left, but you swear the glow of the dome is just dimmer. It's not as vibrant as it was when you left. And so getting inside, there's this several moments of tension as you're waiting for the door that leads down into the tunnel that goes under the dome and allows you access. The ice is built up on it. You're waiting for the ice to crack, the door to open. It finally opens and you head inside. And when you find Dr. Penn, you find your various friends and family, there's surprise that you survived, that you made it back. And when you announce that you have a fix, what do you tell them? How do you explain this?
Aurora tells them everything. It is long-winded and it takes a very long time. It goes long into the night, but they don't mince any details. They share theories of how maybe we can't use temporal anomalies to make this again, but we know where they started, and that's something.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd go back home and I would tell them, the kind of fixes for it, but I would give almost no detail of like where I went, what I saw, just like this is how it happened. I went to a unnamed or like a mystical magical place we didn't know actually existed. I couldn't go back there if I tried.
Love it. Does Bruno do anything?
I think Bruno has sort of a metaphorical take on the whole thing about how, we descended into the underworld, and we found a vault of forbidden knowledge, and the technological what sacrificed himself to be the burden, like the one who bears the burden of the terrible magic that has to stay locked away in that place, but he gave us just enough of a spark to carry on.
It's funny because in the weeks afterwards, a statue of what is erected outside of a small bar that you hang out at. There's a little square, and they erect a statue to what? And every so often, Bruno can be found telling the tale of your all's adventure and the sacrifices that what gave to grant your dome life. And life it does grant, because over the coming weeks you notice it starts getting warmer as these repairs have been worked in to various systems around making things more efficient, cleaning things out, and re-energizing to an extent. Now you all know this wasn't a permanent fix, and it's going to do what it can, but at least in Ogygia it definitely has made a difference. Same as in I'm going to say it one more time, Toxicast City. Things have, warmed up, and, your water filtration systems are running again. And as we wrap up...
Wait.
There is an aspect to Ogygia that doesn't shift in a way that you all expect. There was that weird stuff that you had found in the water, that kind of scummy rainbow shifting color stuff. And as things warm up and the life in the city kind of gets back to normal, it just gets found in places throughout. Sometimes people find it in their homes and kind of scrape it up, throw it out in the street. In fact, jobs are created because this cleanup system has to really kind of kick into gear to keep the stuff. It's weird, and they're starting to throw it outside. They're starting to try and burn it. It doesn't burn worth anything. What? Make a science check for me. 32. In the years to come, you're processing this information, and it finally clicks what that X was. There was this strange fungus that had been found. And
Yes,
at least
I remember now, Jeremy, you telling me about that fungus. I think what probably understood it, certainly, but yeah.
Miko and I actually had a post-game conversation about it one time. It was fun.
Yeah, I completely forgot.
And
you were giving me subtle hints.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah.
You realize that the calculations you gave them are probably horrendously off. You probably did buy them some extra years. A generation, not so much. But
I mean, a generation, maybe not for them.
True. There will likely be many generations of this life form that is growing under Ogygia as the heat caused by the radiation feeds and feeds it. And with that, we're gonna wrap up.
Wait.
Oh,
we've still got one more person. You haven't talked to Winnie. What's Winnie's conclusion?
Ask what Winona did.
I didn't.
No, you didn't. No, it's okay. Winona, I'm leaving here with something. C Rose absolutely looks for something to take from the dome as we're leaving. Probably like a plant life that is edible, that can survive in both warm and cold weather.
Oh, from leaving from the city, from the underground city.
Yeah.
You found so many cool things down there in the time that you were there. You found plants, fruits, things that you weren't 100% sure if they were plants or animals. I don't know. They taste good.
We're gonna figure it out. Winona takes all of them, as much as she could carry, a sample of all, seeds, all that stuff, brings it back, parts with Shan, gives Shan a kiss on the cheek, gives Aurora a hug, and then shows the people all of her cool shit.
Love it.
That's it.
So they expected you to bring home a thing. A lot of the times it's like a trophy from a hunt or some kind of like thing that you got while fighting to survive in the cold. In recorded history, no one has brought home something quite like this. And any sense of people questioning your ability to be the next wisdom is just wiped away. Yeah, whoosh. Love it. I'm so sorry I missed you.
It's okay.
No, I was like going around. I don't even know how I did that. Did I miss anyone else?
I think that's everyone.
Okay.
Right? But I am Winona brags about it for generations until she dies. Anyways, that's it.
I love it. In fact, your descendants, they're like, I am descended from Winona. You know Winona.
Exactly.
Love it. That's where we're going to call it. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and thanks this wonderful crew for being a part of this story. I appreciate you all so much. I'm so glad we got to finish this because, schedules got a little kerfuffly and there was a question, but I'm glad that we got to do it. Let's do a round of introductions. Tell us all about you and where to find you and what you've got coming up. Let's start with Kay.
Oh, hi. Let me see if I can remember. So my name's Kay. I do some stuff. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing East Air with Folk and Myth. I also do a style monthly trivia with Fat Cat Trivia. And then I'm doing local theater stuff in Ottawa. So you probably can't come visit, but thanks. I'm going to pass it to Brie.
Hi, it's me, Brie. I am currently Brie. I will hopefully continue to be Brie in the future. You can find me most places as brennanicki or bizzy-brie. This month I am doing a lot of stuff. You can catch me on Howdy Love Darling's channel every Thursday for the next 6 Thursdays for the season 2 of Hex Heist, Wandless and Wired. It's gonna be crazy. We've gotten a significant upgrade, so you should check it out. On the 16th, Monday, I will be on Don't Kill My Character's channel. Oh wait, no, not on the 16th. On the 30th, LOL. For Queer and Cozy, because it's Pride Month. You're welcome. And then I will also be on Don't Kill My Character's channel for The Expanse, which will be on June 21st. Do I have times for you? No. So I don't know. Check out my social media for like when those things will happen. And if you can't find me in any of those places, I will be in your wallet stealing your money, which you should give to me anyway because it's Pride Month. Thank you. Bye.
Who would you like to pass it to?
Oh yeah, Bruno or Ed.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Ed. I've played Bruno, the Ekavir Hunter. Goddamn, this has been a hell of a ride. I've had so much fun. The setting, the storyteller, the cast, y'all are amazing, and I've had a great time. Stop that, Jeremy.
Only some of that was true. Just saying. There's a glaring problem with what you said.
I actually don't think I have anything scheduled coming up right away. So keep an eye out. There's always a possibility that I will do just a pop-up stream or something like that on Twitch. But until next time, I've had just a blast doing all of this, and we'll see what the future holds. Let me kick it over to Miko.
Oh, hi, that's me. I am Miko, otherwise known as the OKSGM. You can find me most of the time over on Folk and Myth, where I am a co-founder of that streaming channel where we perform all manner of actual plays, mostly centered around things fantasy-related and or horror-related, Dungeons & Dragons, World of Darkness, all other game systems in between. We have a fairly light month actually this month because the other half of the dynamic duo that is Folk and Myth, Bleak Season, is taking a much needed birthday vacation. But I'll still be kicking the tires and getting some streams going every Wednesday except for the last Wednesday of the month. We're going to be doing Ystera. We also, next Monday, in fact, have a Pride-themed science fiction game that Kay is going to be a part of. Storyteller Jacqueline is once again coming back to our channel for this seemingly what is turning into annual event, which is great. We love it. Yeah, stay tuned to our socials because we're going to have all kinds of other stuff happening in the future as well. And much appreciated. This has been a ton of fun. I loved getting to inhabit what they tickle a little bit of fancy in my brain, and I'm here for it. Thank you so much. And yeah, I do believe that means that Bluu, you have to tell us all about yourself now.
Me, I love talking about myself. Hi, I'm Bluu. You can find me in the internet streets as King V_ and as King with the Y. Anywhere Batty Bards is, anywhere Jelly Ghoul Studios is. Batty Bards has a whole Pride month-long event going on every Friday and Saturday over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/battybards. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Hearth and Holler premiering, which is a Stewpot adventure, and we have Chasing Caspian, which is a fairy noir Under Hollow Hills game. And on June 29th, we have a panel also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern that Brie will be on. Yeah, we have a lot going on. And, you know, also Can You Host is a very cool, messy, queer game coming out soon. Y'all should back that up because Brie and I are pledge levels on there. So y'all should go support that.
That's awesome. Nice. I think we'd be remiss in not saying and giving a shout out to Casper for being Yellow Jacket in this. Sorry, Casper could not be here this evening. I hope they are doing well. Their info is now in the chat. Head over to Linktree /Casper DMB Ghost. I think that's everything.
Dungeon Teller for making a cool game.
Thank you, Dungeon Teller, for making such an awesome game. It's been a ton of fun. Yeah, it's and I just want to, like, I know it's probably a little late for spoilers and we kind of did it at the end there, but the inevitable that you were all fighting against was the ooze all along. It wasn't just the cold, it was always the ooze.
Sigh. I fucking knew something was up with that ooze.
I was gonna do something about the ooze, or I was like thinking about the ooze, but I was thinking completely different. I was like, we can use this ooze to turn it into a food
Like an
source
energy source.
or an
I was
energy
thinking
source.
energy-
That's,
yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking about. That would have been
Same brain.
incorrect, but
There's some part of me that wants to rationalize the notion that what purposefully did not mention anything about the ooze, because there are plenty of people in the world in other domes, and this is a new life form.
Right?
And so, like, there is some part of the Ozit equation that might sacrifice a dome for the birth of a new life form.
This
Oh
is like the
my.
mosquitoes in Lilo and Stitch, kind of
Yeah.
protecting the
Lux
planet.
was the villain all along. Anyway,
What?
Absolutely.
What all along. Awesome. We're going to raid out, so please hang out while we do so. Tell them hi when we get there. Thank you all for being a part of this. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Dungeon Teller, for the awesome system. If you haven't checked out Arrhenius, head over and check out the links that are in chat. Pick it up. It's fantastic. Have a ton of fun with it. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
Bye bye.